Welcome back to Mythic Sleep. I am young Homer, here to guide you deeper into the rise and fall of Zeus. Tonight, we continue Series 9, Weaknesses, Pitfalls, and the Slow Decline of Zeus, with episode 78, Zeus's Fear of Patricide, Haunted by Prophecy. In this tale, we witness Zeus, ruler of Olympus, as he faces the same fear that once gripped his father, Cronus, the fear that he, too, might be overthrown by one of his sons. This prophecy haunts him, casting a shadow over his relationships with his children, whom he loves yet watches carefully. As time passes, Zeus's vigilance borders on paranoia, his heart torn between love and the dread that fate may yet come full circle. This is a story of prophecy and fear, a reminder that even the mightiest gods are bound by destiny. As we step into this tale of caution and unspoken dread, allow yourself to settle deeply into the warmth of your bed, feeling safe, grounded, and fully supported. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a slow, deep breath in, letting calm expand through your chest, as steady as the unchanging stars above. As you exhale, release any lingering tension, allowing your body to grow heavy, sinking into rest and ease. This is your time to unwind, to let go, and to find peace. Now, focus on the steady rhythm of your breath, each inhale and exhale as constant as the quiet ticking of time. Take a slightly deeper breath in, filling yourself with calm, and hold it softly for a moment. Then, as you exhale, feel any tightness dissolve, leaving only warmth and tranquility. One more time. Breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, feel yourself sinking further, calm and serene. Now, let's guide each part of the body to soften, inviting rest with every breath. Start with your forehead, allowing it to relax completely as you exhale. Move to your jaw, releasing any tightness, letting it rest softly. Now, bring awareness to your shoulders. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, let them fall, as though letting go of a weight that has been carried far too long. Allow your arms and hands to grow heavy, resting peacefully by your sides. Notice the steady rise and fall in your chest and belly, inhaling as your belly rises, and on the exhale, releasing any last bits of tension, feeling light and free. Shift your focus to your hips and thighs, letting them sink deeper into the bed, fully supported and relaxed. And finally, bring attention to your calves, feet, and toes, allowing them to release completely, grounded and calm. Now, imagine yourself within the quiet halls of Olympus, where shadows stretch long and the air is filled with a weighty stillness. In the distance you see Zeus, his gaze distant, his face lined with the burden of a prophecy that lingers in his mind. Though he rules all, he feels the chill of fate whispering, the fear that one of his own blood may one day rise against him, as he rose against his father. In the silence, he watches, his heart divided between love and the shadow of his deepest fear. With each breath, feel yourself surrounded by the calm strength of this moment, as though you too understand the delicate balance between power and vulnerability. Inhale deeply, letting the calm and depth of the scene fill you, and exhale, feeling grounded, steady, and fully at ease. With your body relaxed and your mind open, allow the story to carry you into this world of destiny, fear, and timeless bonds, where even the greatest gods are bound by the path of fate. Take one last deep breath in and let it out softly. Now, let us begin. Long before Zeus became king of Olympus, a prophecy loomed over his life, a haunting prediction that shadowed every victory and every moment of peace. Just as he had overthrown his own father Cronus, the prophecy declared that one day Zeus, too, would be overthrown by his own child. This prophecy was not a simple warning. It was a declaration of inevitability, a reminder that even the mightiest god could not escape the fate woven by the fates themselves. The words of the prophecy had been uttered by Gaia, the Earth Mother, after Zeus claimed his throne. Gaia had warned him that his hunger for power and control would lead him to suffer the same fate as his father, that the very children he sired would one day rise against him. To Zeus, these words were a curse, a reminder that despite his efforts to rule with absolute authority, his power was vulnerable, his throne threatened by forces beyond his control. Over the centuries, Zeus attempted to forget the prophecy, to bury it beneath his countless victories and achievements. Yet the fear lingered in his mind, shaping his decisions, influencing the way he ruled Olympus, and ultimately leading him down a path of paranoia and isolation. In the prophecy, Zeus saw his mortality, a reminder that even the king of gods was not immune to the hands of fate. The prophecy of Patricide turned Zeus's relationship with his children into a source of constant tension. While he sired many offspring, both mortal and divine, his love was often tempered by suspicion. His most powerful children, those who could rival him in strength and wisdom, became objects of his fear rather than pride. Even Athena, his favorite daughter born from his own mind, carried the potential of the prophecy in Zeus's eyes, for her loyalty could shift with time and ambition. Zeus's wariness extended to his son Apollo, god of the sun and prophecy, whose foresight and wisdom gave him insights into the mysteries of the world that even Zeus could not see. In his son Hercules, a mortal demigod of unparalleled strength, Zeus saw both his legacy and a reminder of the prophecy's threat. Although he granted Hercules challenges to prove his worth, Zeus could never fully trust him. fearing that his strength could one day be turned against Olympus. These doubts created distance between Zeus and his children, a coldness that bred resentment and confusion. To them, Zeus's love was conditional, his favor a fragile thing that could turn to distrust with the slightest hint of ambition or defiance. Zeus's suspicion planted seeds of alienation within his family, creating a fractured Olympus where his children revered him out of respect but often felt the weight of his suspicion. Haunted by prophecy, Zeus found himself unable to truly connect with his children, seeing them less as allies and more as potential threats. Zeus's fear of patricide mirrored the same paranoia that had consumed his father, Cronus. As a young god, Zeus had witnessed Cronus devour each of his children, desperate to prevent the prophecy that one of them would dethrone him. Yet, Zeus had overcome that fate, rescuing his siblings and defeating his father in a brutal battle for power. The victory, however, left an indelible scar on Zeus's mind, a reminder that prophecy could not be ignored or escaped. In moments of reflection, Zeus saw shades of Cronus within himself, his own actions mirroring those of the tyrant he had once overthrown. Where Cronus had consumed his children, Zeus confined or controlled them, stifling their potential in fear that they would one day rise against him. This cycle of distrust became a twisted legacy, a repeating pattern that neither god could escape. Though he had overthrown Cronus, Zeus found himself trapped by the same fears, bound by the very prophecy that had destroyed his father. Yet, unlike Cronus, Zeus attempted to prevent the prophecy by containing the power of his offspring rather than destroying them. He sought to command respect, to keep his children loyal while hiding the distrust that gnawed at him. But even this approach failed to quiet his fears, leaving Zeus more isolated and paranoid, his grip on Olympus weakening as his mind wrestled with the inevitability of fate. In trying to break free from Cronus's legacy, Zeus found himself entangled in the same cycle, unable to escape the shadows of prophecy. One of the clearest manifestations of Zeus's fear was his relationship with Metis, the goddess of wisdom and cunning. When Metis became pregnant with his child, Zeus remembered Gaia's warning that a son born of Metis would be powerful enough to challenge his rule. In a desperate attempt to prevent the prophecy from unfolding, Zeus made a terrible decision. He swallowed Metis whole, believing that by absorbing her he could control the power of her unborn child. From within Zeus's mind, Metis continued to exist, and in time, Athena was born, springing fully grown and armored from Zeus's head. While Zeus cherished Athena, his decision to swallow Metis haunted him, a constant reminder of his willingness to sacrifice love and trust for the sake of security. Metis's voice remained within him, a whisper of wisdom that both guided and taunted him, reminding Zeus that he could not escape fate through such drastic measures. The sacrifice of Metis became a symbol of Zeus's fear-driven rule, a testament to the lengths He was willing to go to avoid the prophecy, yet it did little to quell his paranoia, for the prophecy continued to haunt him, and his relationship with Athena was forever marked by the knowledge of her unusual birth. In swallowing Métis, Zeus demonstrated the depths of his desperation, a choice that left him haunted and isolated, unable to truly escape the prophecy's reach. As Zeus's paranoia deepened, the other gods on Olympus began to feel the strain of his mistrust. They watched as he grew distant from his children, his relationships fractured by suspicion and control. The gods, who once looked up to Zeus as a strong and wise ruler, began to question his judgment, sensing that his fear of the prophecy was clouding his decisions. Athena, born of Metis and closest to her father, sensed the burden he carried, yet felt the sting of his distrust. Though she had proven her loyalty time and again, Zeus's hesitation to fully trust her created a barrier between them. Apollo, the god of prophecy, understood Zeus's fears more than most, yet felt alienated by his father's reluctance to share his concerns. Even Hera, queen of Olympus and mother to many of Zeus's children, grew frustrated with the distance between Zeus and his offspring, knowing that his obsession with the prophecy was fracturing their family. The gods felt the weight of Zeus's paranoia, the growing suspicion that colored his every interaction. As loyalty faded, Olympus became a divided kingdom, each god wondering if they too might one day be seen as a threat by their own king. Zeus's fear, meant to protect his throne, only weakened it, creating a gulf between himself and the very gods he depended on to maintain order. Zeus's obsession with avoiding his fate was beginning to unravel the very unity that had once held Olympus together. In rare moments of solitude, Zeus would sit upon his throne, lost in thought as he contemplated the prophecy that had shaped his rule. He saw in himself both the conqueror of Olympus and a prisoner of destiny, bound to a future he could neither accept nor escape. He realized that every choice, every act of control had been driven by his fear of patricide, a fear that had cost him trust, family, and peace. Yet Zeus could not let go of his ambition, his desire to remain king. To him, acknowledging the prophecy was an admission of mortality, a concession that even a god could be defeated. He believed that by controlling those around him, by suppressing their potential, he could avoid the fate that awaited him. But he knew deep down that his actions were futile, that fate was as much a force as he was, unyielding and inevitable. These reflections left Zeus feeling isolated, a king haunted by shadows of his own making. He understood that his own actions had driven his children away, that his distrust had sown the seeds of defiance within Olympus. Yet, despite his understanding, he could not bring himself to release his grip, to allow fate to take its course. In his heart, he remained defiant, unwilling to surrender the throne he had fought so hard to claim. Zeus's reflection revealed the tragedy of his existence, a ruler who could not accept his own vulnerability, bound by a prophecy he could neither prevent nor accept. The prophecy of Patricide had cast a long shadow over Zeus's reign, creating a legacy of mistrust, sacrifice, and paranoia. The gods of Olympus, though still bound by loyalty, felt the strain of a king who ruled from fear rather than unity. They saw in Zeus a powerful but isolated figure, a ruler whose strength was slowly undermined by his own insecurities. His children, once symbols of Olympus's glory, became reminders of his vulnerability, potential threats that he could never fully embrace. The prophecy, unfulfilled yet ever present, weakened the foundation of Olympus. The loyalty of the gods was tested, the unity of the divine realm fractured by Zeus's inability to accept his fate. His attempts to control his children, his realm, and even fate itself had only led to isolation, driving a wedge between him and those who had once stood by his side. In trying to escape destiny, Zeus had become a prisoner of his own making, a king whose rule was haunted by the very prophecy he sought to avoid. As the gods watched their king struggle with his own fears, they saw the beginnings of Olympus's decline. A kingdom weakened not by external forces, but by the internal conflict of a ruler who could not reconcile his ambition with the inevitability of fate. Zeus's fear of patricide became more than a prophecy. It was a self-fulfilling curse that eroded the very throne he sought to protect. But Zeus's fear was only one of many forces that would test his rule. Join us in the next episode as we explore the Trojan War, a conflict that would divide Olympus and pit gods against one another. Discover how the gods' alliances and rivalries would shake the foundations of Olympus, further unraveling Zeus's control as they chose sides in a war that would change both the mortal and divine realms forever. Until we meet again, may your path be filled with peace, strength, and a touch of magic. I'm young Homer, and I look forward to our next story together.